Thank you, Dr. Tammy. And let's give a round of applause for Dr. Tammy for throwing this all together. It has been such an amazing day of education. So, like she said, my name is Sierra Riddle, and this is my son, Landon. And when Landon was 2 years old, he got sick and was diagnosed with cancer. Very aggressive leukemia, blood cancer. Landon was given an 8 to 10% chance to live and immediately started chemotherapy, cranial radiation, and along with that came a lot of other medications, narcotics, morphine, Oxycontin, and Landon started getting really sick. So sick, in fact, that he lost 50% of his body weight in less than 90 days. He went in weighing 40 pounds, and within 90 days, he was 20 pounds. He stopped eating. At one point, he didn't put a grain of rice into his mouth for over 30 days. And during this time, the only thing that the doctors and oncologists could tell me was more drugs, more narcotics. He needs this narcotic, and this one's going to help it. And by the end of it, Landon was on close to 25 medications, along with chemotherapy and radiation. And Landon kept getting worse and worse. He was degrading. He was dying in front of my eyes. And the doctors told us in Utah, that's where Landon's from, that there was nothing else they can do. This is the standard of childhood cancer. This is the protocol. This is what works. This is what we have to do. And his body cannot tolerate it. We need to send you guys home for a few weeks. Well, I didn't take that answer, that there was nothing else to be done for my son. And I took my son to Colorado, and I started him on medical marijuana, high doses of THC and CBD. And wouldn't you know it, Landon started getting better. He started, and it's absolutely amazing, especially when they tell you, there's nothing we can do. We have to keep doing the chemo, and he has to do it for such an extended period of time to cure this cancer. But not telling you that they're going to try to kill your child at the same time. And hopefully your child's stronger than the cancer and can bounce back. So took Landon and we started him on the medical cannabis. Landon was actually the first child in Colorado under the age of 5 given a medical marijuana card in 2013. And really set a standard for future kids. And like I said, Landon started getting better. He started eating. His quality of life improved. And I know a lot of you parents know about quality of life for your children. It's important to us. It's important to us for our child to be happy, healthy, and considered in their treatment. And Landon, started progressing so well, in fact. And I did a lot of research and everything else, and I decided to take Landon off of chemotherapy. I decided to solely go with the natural treatment, and I was severely punished for that. I was subjected to over a dozen CPS calls and reports. The hospital tried to take Landon from me and have him put in medical foster care solely to have chemotherapy. Not because I'm a bad mother, not because he's not well cared for and loved, but solely because chemotherapy is the only treatment for pediatric cancer in the United States. And fortunately, I had a very amazing doctor. He was here at the first Canna we talked, Robert Malamede, that was willing to stand for Landon and stand up to CPS and go to these meetings with us and say, Landon needs cannabis oil. He needs to have THC. We don't need to keep drugging him. And through a very lengthy battle and thankfully a ton of support, and especially from up here in Northern California, we were able to win Landon's right for compassionate cancer treatments. And Landon is now 4 years in remission. Landon has not had to have a narcotic in over 3 years. And in this time, he's had bone marrow aspirations, which is where they drill into your bone, into the bone marrow to pull it out to test for cancer. He's had multiple spinal taps. He's had a major surgery where they removed his chemotherapy port from his heart valve. And he did not have to have any narcotics for any of this. Landon is seen by a doctor regularly. He was tested for over a year once I stopped chemotherapy, every 30 days for cancer. And it always came back cancer-free. They wanted my child to do 4 years of chemotherapy. 4 years, which have been longer in treatment than he would have been alive at that point. And cannabis healed my son. Cannabis diet and nutrition. And if we can get this information out to other people, we can start improving the lives of our children currently fighting cancer and terminal illness, and we can drastically reduce the number of children that are being diagnosed with cancer by starting healthy habits early in life. 46 children a day are diagnosed with cancer in the United States. It's the number one killer of our children. It beats out all of their illnesses combined, even homicides and accidents and everything. It beats all of them combined. But nobody is making enough noise. Out of all federal funding for cancer research, childhood cancer gets less than 4%. For all of them, leukemia, brain tumors, bone tumors, liver cancer, all of them are lopped into one, and they get less than 4%. As a country, we spend more than $300 million on Halloween costumes for our pets. But we get less than $160 million for every single cancer that our children are facing. This is not right. Our children are worth more than 4%. My child is worth more than 4%. How many of you out there think your child is worth more than 4%?
Yeah!
We've got to start making some noise. We've got to start educating our doctors and our people in our lives, our nurses. We've got to tell them about cannabis and how it can help. How it can help our children that are afflicted from these diseases. I have met so many amazing families throughout our journey. I have met a lot of families that have lost their children, that they didn't have the opportunity, or they lived in the wrong zip code. They couldn't access it. And I had to leave my whole family in Utah, and any support system I ever had as a single mother with my dying child for marijuana. This should not be happening. It should not be happening that I can't grow my child's marijuana if it's in a certain county, in a legal state. Yeah? Yeah, sure. And, it's going to take all of us together to bring about some real change. My son is here today. He's going to be 7 years old coming up. I know! And this is what we've dedicated our lives to, is educating people about childhood cancer, about cannabis, what it can do for them, that cannabis is safer for our children. Our children do not need to be on extensive opioids, painkillers, any of these kind of drugs at this age when there's something out there that's safer. At 3 years old, my son was addicted to Oxycontin and morphine. He could not go without it, even if he was having a good day. That's called addiction, my friends. And until we all say something and tell the parents that you know that have children fighting, there's something else out there. They're not going to know any better because we trust our doctors. How many of you guys have trusted a doctor before?
Hell no.
Well, you guys are an educated group, man. Well, a lot of us, we had faith in our doctors. We had faith in our medical system. We thought that they went to medical school to help people, right?
I only have faith in God.
Oh, I know, and nowadays, and so really we have to get this information out there. I encourage you guys, everything you heard today inside and outside, and you guys are about to meet some more amazing families, please share it with someone. Share this education. We don't have to see our children suffering. We don't have to see our elderly suffering and our disabled suffering. We can do something about it. We can each lend a hand in helping to end prohibition. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to look up Landon's story, it's super easy. It's teamlandon.org. And from there you can find his Facebook and Instagram and follow along his journeys. He was recently in Seattle 2 weekends ago, and he spoke with me on stage. There was 300,000 people that attended this event. Landon is becoming a tiny activist right before our eyes, because sooner than later we're going to have to pass the torch to somebody. Educate your children about the benefits of cannabis. Educate your families and yourself. We're never too old to keep learning, and there's always new information out there. Thank you guys again so much for coming out and supporting this. It's so important. And let's hear it again for Team Landon.